Hello and welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy and I have a small crochet business called BubbleCatCrochet. Today's video is going to be all about my favourite crochet accessories, tools, everything to do with crochet. So we're talking about my favourite yarns, where I buy them from, crochet hooks, accessories, everything that makes my crochet life easier. So keep watching. Let's get started with my favourite yarns to buy. So if you've been around my channel for a little while, you know that I love a yarn haul. I'm always buying new yarns, so I will get straight into it. So I'll get started with one of my all-time favourites, which is Banat Blanket. I have a regular one here, and then this is Banat Baby Blanket. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. The baby blanket feels a tiny little bit softer, but they're both pretty soft. So this is obviously a blanket yarn, as it says, which means it's thicker than your average chenille yarn I would use. And I usually use this for things like Anchor the Octopuses, XL Loaf Cats, XL Jumbo Seagulls, possibly Big Ponies if they make an appearance if I get round to it. I'm working on making an XL pony, which I'm very excited about, so keep your eyes peeled. That'll be rocking up at some point. I just haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, absolutely love Banat Blanket. It barely sheds. It comes in so many different colours. It is unreal and I want all of them. But it can be quite pricey, and I think especially some of the more interesting colours like these ones that you can usually get in America, they are really quite expensive, and there are some cheaper alternatives to use, but I just love it. And there are some colours that I see and I just can't resist, and this is one of them. Next up I have this one, which is the Yarnsmith Snug as a Bug. I absolutely adore this. It is probably one of my favourite yarns ever. It's super thick, it doesn't shed at all really. It is a little bit thicker than Banat Blanket, so what I have noticed is if I mix this with Banat when I'm making an Anchor the Octopus, it can sort of make it look a little off balance. So yeah, you can mix them, but it's not my favourite thing to do. I'd usually try and stick to the same brand just because it is that little bit thicker. This is much cheaper than Banat. You're looking at about half the price. I think it's about £6 a ball at the moment while it's on offer, which it always seems to be, so fingers crossed it stays that way. And like Banat Blanket, it comes in so many colours. I genuinely feel spoilt with how many colours we've got in this. I would like to see more in sort of like the multicoloured yarns. I'd like to see a few different options in that to try and rival Banat a little bit more, but I am hopeful that that will come one day soon. I'll leave a link in the description box below as to where I usually buy mine from. So Banat Blanket, if it's like one of the plain colours, I'll usually get it from Amazon. If not, then I'll get it from Flossie's Place because she has all of the colours on there. And then the Yarnsmith Snug as a Bug I get from Wool Warehouse. Moving on from blanket yarn onto chenilles. This one is again Yarnsmiths, but this is just their chenille range, which is still relatively new. I think it's been out for about 2 months. I absolutely love this. It compared to some of the others, it obviously it fell off then, but it barely sheds. It's really nice. So when you're sewing with it, it's not as challenging or stressful. It's a little bit thinner than sort of like your Signet Jelly Baby, but it's very similar to Yarn Art Dolce or Wolan's Bunny Baby. I do mix it with the Signet Jelly Baby, and it's never been an issue. It's not particularly noticeable unless that you sort of hold them and compare it next to each other. But this again comes in so many colours, and I just love that it barely sheds. It's such nice quality, and it's really reasonably priced. I think it was £3.25 a ball, but I had a look yesterday because I'm always yarn shopping, and I'm sure it's gone down to £3. So if it is £3, I would really recommend stocking up on some of your favourite colours. I'm going to go on to Signet Jelly Baby next, which is this one. This is one of my most sort of used yarn brands ever. I have recently started using the Yarnsmith chenille that I've just mentioned, just because of the shedding. It barely sheds, but I love this. It comes in literally every colour under the sun. I absolutely love it. It's one of the thicker chenilles so I really like that. I'm not a fan of like the really skinny ones. I hate with a passion Flutterby because it is just way too thin. I can't get on with it. It snaps like crazy whenever you try and do any of the UKCA testing. It always snaps on me. I can't get on with it at all, and I think it's expensive for what like the quality, so I don't use that. Rant over. But yes, Jelly Baby, I love it. And how pretty is this orange? I'll just take a moment for that. It does shed, as you can see. We're talking like lots of shedding, so it's not horrendous to sew with, but it's definitely not the best, because you end up with it looking like that. I don't know if you can see, it's got like this little stringy bit at the end. It does just shed like crazy. Overall, it's one of the better yarns for shedding. I've just been spoilt by the yarns for this one now, but I love this. It comes in so many colours that I can't imagine there being a time where I wouldn't still want Jelly Baby in my yarn stash somewhere. This one is one of my favourites. It sheds like crazy, but I will always have a soft spot for it because it comes in the most perfect colours. This is Woolland's Bunny Baby. As I said, it does shed. I can't find the end to show you how much it sheds. But yes, I will hold my hands up. It does shed quite a lot. So sewing with this, there we go, is not particularly fun. You can see it's like, it is just coming off like in quite a lot. I mean, I'm going to stop that because I'm going to have no wool left. But yeah, it does shed quite a lot. However, it comes in like the perfect colours for horses. I get a lot of custom horse orders and custom loaf cats, and whatever colour I need, they will have it. I had a custom order for a blue roan and a strawberry roan pony, so obviously thought that's going to be difficult to colour match, but no, Woolland's Bunny Baby had the perfect colours, so I will always use this. It's just beautiful, and it is so soft compared to some of the chenilles that can be a little bit, I feel like, this probably sounds daft, but I feel like you can feel the dye in it. It's sort of just, I don't know, you can just, it feels like it's got like some sort of residue in it a little bit. This doesn't have that. It is absolutely stunning. I just wish it had shed a little bit less. This is one that I have been using for a while. I don't use it that often just because I don't have a lot of colours in it and I always forget about it, but it is King Cole Yummy. I really like this one. It is a little bit thinner than, say, Jelly Baby. It's very similar to Woolland's Bunny Baby or Dolce. And surprisingly, you know what? It's not bad. I'm really sort of digging at that to try and pull it off, and it twists first rather than shedding, so I have managed to break it apart, but it's one of the better ones for shedding actually. It doesn't come in as many colours as I would like, which is probably why I don't have it as like one of my most frequently reached for yarns, but the colours that it does come in are really pretty, so I love this lilac-y colour. It's perfect for turtles. Like if you think this with like a really pretty pink is like a stunning turtle colour, so I really like this. It's affordable, and if it comes in the colour you want, then I would usually reach for this one. And this is the first ever chenille that I used, so it is Yarn Art Dolce. It looks like I've just shoehorned these onto random balls of wool. I promise these are the ones that came on. I don't think I've ever actually used this colour. I just grabbed the first one out of the stash that had got a band on. The Dolce sheds quite a lot, I would say. I mean, you can see I've already got bits in my hand there. It does shed quite a bit. But I really like this. There are a few colours that I won't buy, so they have like a, I can't remember what the proper name for it. It's like a light chocolate brown colour. That always comes up super thin and I hate it, absolutely hate it. But I'd say the majority of the colours are absolutely beautiful. They have so many different ones. This one, like you can see, it's probably one of the best ones to show. The thickness is just perfect. The colours are always really rich and vibrant. It's soft. They have some really pretty greens as well for the mini frogs. If you use the All From Jade pattern, they have some really beautiful greens in there. And it's really strong as well. And I like that obviously for testing, you need to make sure that it's not going to be able to be pulled apart. Or if you are sewing bits on, it's really strong. I like this one a lot. I think that's it for my favourite yarns. I don't ever use anything that's not chenille yarn or blanket yarn, so I have zero recommendations for like double knit wool. I can't get on with it. I like plushes made in chenille or blanket yarn because I can tickle big and chunky. Moving on to crochet hooks. My favourite hooks to look at would be the Furls ones, and I'm still trying to convince myself that I need them enough to be able to justify placing an order. However, this is not a things I wish I had video, it is a Crochet Favourites video. So these two are my most used. It is the Clover and More crochet hooks. I find it a little bit weird that the bigger ones, like this is a 7mm, are plastic, but they are still super smooth. So I use these for like my Anchor the Octopus, and the wool does glide over it absolutely fine. But when I first got them, I was a little bit suspicious. I was like, why are you not metal? But anyway, still really like it. And then this is my 4.5mm, which is probably my most used for any kind of chenille. I always use a 4.5 because I find that you don't get the gaps in it then. and it just gives a better finish. And this one is metal, so I'm not sure. If you know why they're different, let me know, because it drives me mad that I don't know. But Clover and More have absolutely saved my hands. I used to use just some random ones. Let me see if I've got one. I do. So I got these from, I think it's from TikTok shop. I can't remember which seller it was, but I used to use these with like the really long necks. Cannot get on with these at all now. The neck's just so long, and I think because I've converted myself to the Clovers, which you can see they're a lot shorter, I find these really hard. And also they're not very, they're quite, the handle bit's really firm, so if I use these a lot I get pain. Like, I have freakishly bendy hands, but I get pain like in my thumb there and going right down my wrist, and I don't get that with these. So yeah, I really love Clover and More. I am desperate to try Furls crochet hooks. I'll show you what I bought. This is not a Furls hook because they are pricey, and I'm still trying to convince myself that I need them. This is, I think it's called Omni Crochet, but I'm sure on Amazon it's called Omni. But anyway, I'll write down, but like on the screen, which one it is. I don't know if you'll see that, but it's kind of like, it's clear with like gold and glittery shards in it. I love it. It's so pretty. And actually the handle bit there is quite thick, so I really like that. I'm trying to train myself to get used to having like a longer neck on it, because if I just show you next to the Clover and More, it's a lot bigger. I have big hands anyway, but the neck is quite a lot bigger. But I have tried it a couple of times, and I really like that the handle's just chunky. It stops me from like having that vice-like grip on it, which again helps alleviate that wrist pain. So really like this one. It was only, I think it was about $8.95 from Amazon, so I really like that. It is resin, and I know that with the Furls hooks it says not to get the resin ones if you got really tight tension, or if you do amigurumi, because they likely to snap. So if I do cave in and buy the Furls ones, I will A, let you know what I think about it, and B, buy the metal ones. My next favourite is something that I sort of avoided buying for a while because I wasn't sure if I'd get much use out of it, but it is these Ami sticks. So I know a lot of people sell Ami sticks online. I got mine from a really lovely girl called Abby, who I will link below, because I would highly recommend them. Quality is amazing. I had a custom hook from somebody and the quality was not great. But I do have a hook from Abby as well that I absolutely love. It's Gilmore Girls themed, so I'll pop a picture of it on here. And I love that one. The quality is amazing. It just glides through everything. So would add that to my list of favourite hooks as well. But these are the regular size Ami sticks. So these are different. I've just realised I do have two pairs of these, but I thought I'd got the two sheep, but I've got sheep and a bee. And then these are the jumbo ones. So let me just put them next to each other so you can see the size difference. These are quite a bit bigger, and I love these for like the Crochet Grove horses. It does a great job of holding those in, because sometimes the smaller ones just aren't quite long enough to reach all the way through. So really love that there is a jumbo version, and I obviously went for like little Wild West scenes, because how could I resist? But yeah, Abby's hooks and sticks are really affordable, amazing quality, would highly recommend. Then I'm going to move on to Safety Eyes, and I will absolutely butcher the pronunciation of this. I will apologise in advance. I think it is Mucunia Safety Eyes. Muncunia. I don't know if it has an N in it or not, I can't remember. I will have a look, but I'll put a picture on here. So these are the UKCA compliant glitter eyes. I absolutely love these. They do two different variants now that I didn't realise, so I got caught out the other day when I bought a bag. Because I use a lot of the 18mm eyes for my love cats, like this little guy up there, and him. He has got some of the green 18mm glitter safety eyes on as well. But yeah, now they do them where some of them come with sinker eyes, where it really pulls the eye in. They sink in, as the name would suggest. And then some of the others come with the normal backs that I prefer. I'll put a picture on screen so you can see what I mean. But the eye shape has changed on these, so this is probably not going to be very easy to show, but these ones have quite like flat sort of eyes, and the new ones, I'll put a picture on of a plushie that has these. They're much more rounded, and at first I was like, I'm not sure about these, I don't like it, it's different, I don't like change, but actually they look really cute. And I think, as you can see on the cat here that my daughter's named Good Cat, they actually do look really fun. And I like them, and they're super glossy as well, way shinier than any other safety eyes I've ever tried. So if you're looking for some glittery safety eyes, I would highly recommend them. Just a note on those as well that they have never failed the safety testing process for me. They pass every single time. And I use a safety eye tool to make sure that they go on as far as possible, which I will show you because that's one of my favourites too. So I have 2 of these, but obviously I can only find one, and it is the one that I have modified somewhat. So I got these from Amazon. I have 2 different sizes. It does actually usually have 3 on, but I never ever use the big one. And I found it was a little bit harder to push down, so I took the bigger one off so that I could really get my hand on it when I'm pushing it down flat. And you basically put these around the back of the safety eye, put like the stalk of the eye inside there and push down, and it makes sure that it is never ever ever coming off. This is brilliant. I really struggled before. The amount of broken thumbnails I had, or like trying to shoehorn it on somehow. I don't have that issue anymore. This is amazing. I have this size, which is like the bigger one, so you can see that's quite chunky. And then I have a smaller one as well for my sort of chenille plushies. Next up was an absolute game changer for me. It's downstairs on charge, and I didn't want to upset it while it was on charge. But it is this sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a neck torch thing. It's on like a really flexible bendy wire. So you put it around the back of your neck and you can move it like wherever you want. Like they move independently of each other. And it's amazing. It is the brightest thing I have ever seen. So if you're sat like crocheting at night watching TV, you'll have all these like weird creepy shadows on the wall. But it is an absolute game changer for black yarn. I was making Benny the Badger over there and forgot that I'd got this tool when I was making his arms, and I'm thinking, I'm blind anyway, so I was like, I'm trying to see this and it's not going well. Remembered I got this, put it on, and it was like, bam, everything is super bright, illuminated, total, like, just totally life-changing for black yarn. It's amazing, so would highly recommend. The battery life lasts for absolutely ages. It charges really fast. I just love it. I think it's genius. Absolute genius. This next one is a little bit weird. But when I was making pumpkins, I realised very quickly that it was impossible to try and get like a standard sized tapestry needle through the middle of a giant pumpkin. So I bought a giant tapestry needle. It doesn't come bent. I got a bit heavy-handed when I was trying to get it through one of the pumpkins at first before I found the better technique to do it. So mine is bent. It's like a little smiley face. But yeah, if you are making anything that's like jumbo size, even if you're doing something like a big loaf cat and I know some people like to stitch the face on after. I do it when I've just done the back feet. Not the back feet. I do it when I've just done the front feet because I find it easier. But I know some people like to do the face on this after. Having a giant tapestry needle is so much easier because it literally just... So it literally goes all the way through like that. So this looks awful. It's like some sort of creepy Halloween thing. But it just makes it so much easier to do that with. And if you're making pumpkins or anything where you need to put like the strands of wool over it to try and get that like sort of, I don't know, slice wedge shape, it's just save your hands, buy a giant tapestry needle, don't bend it because it makes it a little bit harder. Would highly recommend having a straight one. I might have to buy another one. And then I thought I would just finish off with a little roundup of my favourite places to buy my yarn from. So I buy it from a couple of different places depending on which one it is. So for the Yarn Smiths, Snug as a Bug and Chenille, I get it from Wool Warehouse, which is one of my favourite places. It's always on sale, I find, which is amazing, but if it's ever not, you can usually get a 10% discount code as well floating around. So occasionally I will buy like a one-off of a Signet Jelly Baby from there if I need a particular colour, and you can use a 10% discount code there. So yeah, if you just Google it, loads will come up. I love that they do next day delivery as well. It really frustrates me that there's like such an early cut-off time. I'm used to Amazon where you can order like, I can order now and it'll still come later today. So I'm a little bit spoiled with that, but I love that you can get next day delivery on it if I've got an order come through and it's like, I don't know, say if someone orders a seagull and I think, oh, I've run out of like orange yarn or something, then I can always get it the next day. The next place that I order my Woolland's Bunny Baby from is called The Artful Stitch. I absolutely love this place. They again do next day delivery. It's really reasonable for Woolland's Bunny Baby. It's one of the cheapest places I've found. And they have like really good stock levels as well. A lot of places when I try and get Bunny Baby don't have the colours that I need. I usually buy like a lot of browns from there, like the chestnut brown, and it can be quite hard to find it in stock. So they always have it in stock. And yeah, really speedy delivery, just really nice company to deal with. Next up I have the lovely Flossie's Place. Absolutely love this store. This is where I get my burnout blanket from in like the fun colours. She has loads of different amazing American brands, so you can get Parfait Chunky on there, Parfait Chunky XL. There's another one, I can't remember what it's called, is it Bloom or something, that's like the floral one. But yeah, she has burnout baby blanket and regular, and you can get all sorts of different colours. So this is Lagoon. You can get like the red adobe for the octopuses that everybody's making, which I have obviously bought and I'm desperate to make an octopus in. So love Flossie's Place, really speedy delivery, and really, really good price as well. I have started getting my Signet Jelly Baby from a lovely little shop called Katsy's Crafty Things. They are on like TikTok and Instagram as well, but they do have a website and they're really, really good prices for Jelly Baby. Comes super fast, it's really well packaged as well. Because I have had a few where it's usually with Royal Mail. If you buy wool through there, sometimes it comes open and you have like a rogue ball of wool missing. And true story, once that happened, and then the next day the postman came and brought me a ball of wool and he's like, I'm guessing this is yours. And I'm like, yes, that's me, the crazy yarn lady. That would be mine. So I did get reunited with it in the end, but yeah, it comes well packaged, so there are no wool escapades. And then talking of TikTok, I bought my Yarn Art Dolce from a lovely seller on there called Yarn Addicts. Sadly, they are stopping selling it. I think it's in clearance on there at the moment, so they are moving on to selling Lush Plushie, which I've not used. So if you have used it, if you like it, or you don't like it, let me know in the comments below, because I am intrigued and want to try it. But I have a lot of yarn to get through already. But yeah, sadly they are stopping selling Yarn Art Dolce, so I will have to try and find another supplier. So if you know anybody that sells Yarn Art Dolce, please let me know. I haven't looked for another seller yet, but I have got a reasonably decent stash of Dolce. I might have stocked up when I realised that she wasn't going to be selling it anymore. So yeah, if you have any preferred sellers, let me know. And then finally, the last TikTok shop that I buy Signet Jelly Baby from is called Diamanted Crafts. Again, really speedy delivery, just fun, nice shop. I like watching their TikTok lives when they're doing like packing people's orders and things. It makes me want to buy all of the yarn immediately and get all excited that it's mine that's been packed. And I think that's almost it. The last thing I'm going to mention is my crochet bag, which I'm not going to pick up because it's huge and really bulky. Actually, I will do. Hang on. Bear with me. So this is very heavy because it's obviously rammed full of stuff at all times. I have like this thing of like, I'm going to empty it out and it's going to just have the project that I'm working on at that exact moment, nothing else. We all know it doesn't happen, but this is it. Oh, it is huge. And it's got lots of things in it at the moment, including a needle that's poking out, which is nice and safe. But this is from Amazon. It was my birthday present and I love it. So it has like a massive compartment in there where I keep wool and some of my safety eyes in boxes. It has like pockets on literally every side, including the back, and then at the front, and just to show you in there, you can keep all your hooks in there. So I have my old spares that I don't use anymore that I talked about earlier, my Clever More. It has a nice little zip pocket there that I keep things like scissors in, and then my Ami sticks live in there along with spare pens and a couple of other bits. But I absolutely love this because I quite often take it with me when we go places, like if we go away for a weekend or something, or if we go and visit family. I'll just take this, I can put everything in it, and I just love it. Yeah, it has these handles or a big shoulder strap with like the shoulder pad on it. Amazing, total game changer. I used to have like a really shabby one that I was dragging around where everything had to just be launched in. I couldn't find it. Love this, makes life so much easier. And one thing that's really cool is that if you open, a little bit low down, if you open this top bit, that also has a zip on it, you can still have the lid shut and keep your ball of wool in there and crochet through it because it has that open space there, all the little holes for the wool. So amazing. Yeah, I will link that as well for you. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment if you can think of anything else you think I might like to try. And if you want to see more, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to see you back here again. Thank you very much for today, and I will see you soon. Bye!